The glass-walled conference room felt like a bright spotlight shining directly on me. I stood at the front, giving an important presentation to the whole team and some top executives. My slide showed the new project I had worked hard on for months, late nights, endless revisions, all to make the company stronger. Suddenly, my boss Jonathan cut me off mid-sentence with a big smirk on his face. "Stop right there," he said in a loud voice that echoed off the glass. "You're fired. Effective immediately. Pack your things and leave." He pushed my laptop across the long polished table toward me. It made a sharp scraping sound that cut through the silence. Laughter broke out around the room. Some people laughed because they were surprised, others because they followed Jonathan's lead like sheep. I felt my face burn hot. Every single pair of eyes locked onto me. Some looked shocked and sorry for me. Others looked amused, enjoying the drama. My heart pounded, so hard I thought it might jump out of my chest. But I refused to cry or yell. I took a slow breath, nodded once with as much dignity as I could find, picked up my laptop, and walked out without another word. As I passed the door, I caught a quick look from one senior executive named Richard. He wasn't laughing. He stared at Jonathan with narrow eyes, almost like he was questioning why his boss would act so bold and cruel in front of everyone. That one small glance felt like a tiny spark in the dark. Maybe, just maybe, someone already suspected that Jonathan had been doing shady things for a long time. I made it to my small office, shut the door quietly, and sat down. My legs felt weak. My hands shook as I placed the laptop on the desk. For a few minutes, the shock kept me frozen. Memories flashed. The day Jonathan first praised my work in front of the team, only to present it as his own a week later. The times he promised me a raise that never came. The way he smiled sweetly while spreading rumors that I was difficult to work with. Then the shaking stopped and a cold, clear feeling took over my mind. I started replaying everything in my head. The smirk, the way he enjoyed humiliating me, the laughter from people who were supposed to be my colleagues. I realized I had ignored warning signs for too long. Jonathan had taken credit for my ideas more than once. He changed reports to make his numbers look better. He told little lies in meetings that added up to big deceptions. People whispered in the hallways, but no one dared speak loud. I thought about who acted scared around him and who looked uncomfortable when he spoke. In my mind, I made a silent list. Every email he sent pretending my work was his, every report he edited behind my back, every meeting where witnesses saw the truth. The pain of being fired so publicly still stung badly, but now anger mixed with something stronger, determination. He thought he had crushed me. He was wrong. He had just given me a reason to fight back smarter. Right then, my phone buzzed with a new email notification. It was an internal memo meant for someone else, sent to me by mistake. I opened it carefully. My eyes widened. The memo showed Jonathan had secretly changed key figures in a financial summary to hide a loss and make his department look successful. It included timestamps and his own notes admitting the adjustment was to keep the board happy. It was clear proof of one of his tricks. My pulse raced, but this time from hope, not fear. This accidental email was the first real piece I could use. I saved it 3 times in different places, then deleted the original from my inbox history so he wouldn't know I had seen it. From that moment, I decided to stay silent and move carefully. I didn't shout or complain to anyone. Instead, I began collecting everything quietly. I downloaded every email where he claimed my ideas. I saved copies of reports before and after he changed them. I wrote detailed notes about meetings, including dates, times, who was there, and even what people wore so I could remember the scene clearly. I created hidden folders on my personal drive, encrypted them with a strong password, and backed them up in safe places far from company computers, cloud storage under a fake name, an old USB drive hidden at home. Patience became my strongest weapon. If I acted too fast or too emotional, he could twist things and make me look bad. So I waited and watched. Every day I acted normal. I came to work on time, said hello to people, smiled at small talk, and even laughed at harmless jokes. Jonathan saw me still around, since firing takes paperwork and time, and thought I was broken and harmless. He strutted around more proudly than ever, bragging about cleaning house and strong leadership. He never guessed I spent 30 minutes each day just observing, watching who avoided him, who rolled their eyes when he spoke, who looked guilty. I spent another hour reviewing old files, cross-checking numbers, and finding patterns of his lies. I had casual chats with colleagues to test the waters. Slowly, some gave tiny signs of support. A quiet nod, a quick, "that wasn't fair" when no one else heard, a sympathetic look when Jonathan walked by. One afternoon, a junior colleague named Sarah came to my desk when the office was quiet. She looked around nervously before speaking. "I saw what happened in the meeting," she whispered. "It was awful. I've seen him do similar things to others. If you're planning something, I want to help, but only if it's real and safe. I can't lose my job." I showed her just a small part of my collection. Enough emails and notes to prove I was serious and organized, not just angry. Her eyes grew wide. She nodded and said she would watch closely and tell me anything important. From then on, she started sending me screenshots of questionable approvals she handled. Days turned into weeks. I found another ally in Maya, a quiet financial analyst who sat near the back. During lunch one day, she slid into the seat across from me. "He does the same to me," she said softly. "Takes my analysis, changes it, puts his name on top. I'm tired of being scared." She was nervous about speaking up, but she hated his lies more. We started working together in secret. We saved screenshots of dishonest emails. We noted every time he broke small rules. We recorded a couple of calls where company policy was clearly ignored, always legally, so it couldn't be used against us. Our small alliance felt like a warm light in a cold place. We met in empty break rooms or outside the building during walks, always careful to look casual. One day, Jonathan called Maya into his office out of the blue. I watched her walk in, her shoulders tight. My stomach twisted with worry. Was he suspicious? When she came out, she looked pale, but okay. "Just work questions," she whispered later, but his eyes were sharp, like he's starting to wonder. We became even more careful after that, deleting messages right after reading, using code words in chats, never discussing details near his office. I began testing him gently. In group emails or meetings, I asked polite, simple questions about rules or numbers. Each time he got defensive or lied to cover a mistake, I noted it down. His huge ego blinded him. He never imagined anyone could outsmart him. He kept slipping, and every slip added weight to my evidence pile. My collection grew thick. Emails, edited reports, witness notes, dates, everything neatly organized in folders labeled with innocent names like Project Notes 2025. I practiced explaining it calmly and logically so no one could dismiss it as emotion. Then I found something big. A small accounting error from months back that hit almost $200,000 in questionable expenses. If uncovered, it could cause real trouble for the company and ruin his reputation completely. I cross-checked it against public financial guidelines and saw it clearly violated policy. In a team meeting, I asked one careful question about following compliance rules. Jonathan snapped. He stumbled over his answer, said one thing, then contradicted himself seconds later. A few executives noticed. They wrote notes. They exchanged quiet looks. I saw trust in him start to crack, just a little. Soon after, one of those executives, Richard, emailed me privately. "Can we talk privately? I have concerns about Jonathan's decisions lately." My heart jumped. My patient work was finally showing results. Jonathan started noticing I stayed too calm. He pulled me into his office alone. "Why are you still acting like nothing happened?" he asked in a threatening tone. I answered quietly, never raising my voice. The more he pushed, the more he accidentally admitted small lies. I wrote every word in a private note right after. Luckily, the main conference room had a security camera that recorded everything. It caught a private conversation where Jonathan bragged about bending rules to make the numbers work. When I learned about that footage through a discreet HR contact, I knew it was powerful proof. I connected with someone in HR. I showed just enough to earn trust. We discussed the proper, legal way to report serious misconduct. Our quiet group of supporters grew stronger one by one. I talked carefully to more colleagues, asking things like, "What do you think about honest reporting?" Their answers showed who might speak if protected. One key person admitted they had direct proof Jonathan altered financial reports on purpose. That piece felt like gold. I set small traps with words and situations. I created moments where his lies had to clash. He fell for them every time, digging his hole deeper. He called a big team meeting to clear up rumors and look strong. He didn't know he was setting himself up. Then a minor executive publicly took Jonathan's side, questioning my motives. I stayed silent. I collected their words. Later I found that same person had their work stolen by Jonathan too. More leverage. The board began asking questions I had quietly planted weeks earlier. Jonathan tried to talk his way out, but he contradicted facts again and again. Whispers grew louder. Some people quietly moved to my side. He panicked and accused me of leaking secrets. But his accusation was recorded. His own words proved he was desperate. HR and some board members quietly supported the truth now. They watched and verified everything. Jonathan still believed he controlled the story. He tried intimidating a young colleague to stay quiet. I stepped in softly, documented it all. That colleague later slipped me a note with strong proof. Rumors spread naturally around the office about his tricks. No one pointed to me. Doubt grew everywhere. An IT analyst came forward with evidence of changed digital records. I added it safely. Jonathan felt the walls closing, but couldn't see who was responsible. I waited for the perfect moment. I organized every piece, emails, screenshots, testimonies, video into a clear story. Jonathan scheduled a victory board meeting, sure he would shine. Then the final piece arrived. A video of him openly admitting to falsifying information during a late-night call someone had recorded legally. It sealed everything. Board members received the full evidence quietly through trusted channels before the meeting. Jonathan walked in confident. In the boardroom he tried to dominate, but questions came fast. The proof appeared one by one, emails, altered documents, witness accounts, the damning video. His face went from smug to pale. Panic showed in his eyes. He made excuses, but each one made the case stronger. The CEO spoke firmly. The board agreed. They reprimanded him publicly, removed his authority on the spot, and started a formal investigation. His career ended right there. The office atmosphere changed overnight. People breathed easier. Fear disappeared. I stayed quiet, watching justice unfold naturally. Colleagues began looking at me with respect. They knew I had done something brave and smart, though I never said a word about it. In time, the company cleared my name fully. They offered me the promotion I deserved long ago. I walked the halls with calm confidence. Looking back, I turned deep humiliation into quiet triumph, not with revenge or noise, but with patience, truth, and careful timing. Jonathan's career was over. I felt healed, stronger, and at peace. One day I stood by my office window, watching the city outside. I smiled to myself. I had mastered something powerful. If betrayal ever came again, I would be ready.